ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for having us here. It's a pleasure to present a paper in such a podium. So we are presenting a paper on sustainable gold recovery, transforming hazardous waste into a valuable resource. So basically, it was co-authored by Dr. Prabhakar Sangurmat, Amita K, and then Dinesh Kulkarni. Basically, this is a comprehensive study. Of course, we have done a lot of interviews with waste management people also, and then we have visited quite a bit of industries also before we come to here. So this is just a beginning. Of course, we have a very long way to go when it comes to sort of waste management and then metal extraction, especially gold extraction from that. So this is a brief agenda what I have. Basically, we are talking about the purpose and then why we need to worry about the e-waste. What is basically composition? So how much gold we are going to find in the e-waste percentage wise? What are the methods? Of course, some of the theoretical things I will try to be quick. Benefits of why we should extract gold from sustainable means. What challenges we have in gold recycling, and then how we can promote as a policy makers, how we need to promote, how we can promote the gold use of sustainable gold, and then of course questions and then discussion later on. So I'll not go through much of details, but of course electronic waste basically has a projected annual growth of around 3 to 5% every time, but it has seen substantial increase over a period of last few years. Of course, we are going to put some graphs and then going to show it to you. It is also considered urban mine as it contains several precious metals such as we have gold, we have palladium, silver, copper, and then so on. So the extraction of these valuable metals from e-waste is an attractive alternative to mining because we are actually having an environmentally sustainable way to do a mining, and then also it is more cost effective and then more environment friendly when it comes to having this. So we aim to discuss challenges and opportunities, and then also how we can sort of encourage use of sustainable gold through suitable policies. So basically, why worry about e-waste? Of course, we have resource conservation is one basic event. It has a lot of hazardous material, and then if it's not disposed properly, it is going to create sort of environmental issues. Energy efficiency. Well, if I recycle or if I use gold extraction from mining, a lot of energy is going to consume, which can be drastically brought down if I use recycled gold. Then we have reduced greenhouse emissions. Of course, we will reduce the greenhouse emissions. Prevention of landfill and contamination. Human health is one of the things because, again, a lot of environmental issues will come. And then what we have is data security. We have hard drives, and then we have, mobile phones which are getting discarded, and then we have issues with this. Global electronic trade is one more issue what we have, when it comes to having electronic waste, and then of course circular economy is one thing. I'll perhaps play this video which we have right here. This is
Ever pondered where your outdated gadgets journey to when they've served their purpose? They become part of the electronic waste, or e-waste. Typically, e-waste comprises obsolete computers, discarded televisions, outdated mobile phones, and spent batteries. These aren't just electronic debris, they're repositories of various metals. As technology advances, we constantly upgrade our devices, contributing to the ever-growing e-waste. This process leaves behind a deposit of metals like lead, mercury, and cadmium. This isn't just a localized issue, it's a global crisis. From remote villages to bustling cities, e-waste mounts up, reflecting our insatiable desire the newest technology. These metals, if improperly disposed of, pollute the soil, water, and air, causing environmental harm. The improper disposal of these devices is more than a waste management issue. It's an environmental time bomb, and the clock is ticking louder and faster with every gadget we discard. So why should we focus on the harmful effects of e-waste, particularly the metals within? E-waste is not ordinary trash. It conceals hazardous materials like lead, mercury, and cadmium that once released damage our ecosystems. It's the reality these toxins infiltrate soil, pollute our water, and poison our natural world. This is not a grim prediction. It's occurring daily. The impact goes beyond the environment. It affects human health too. Prolonged exposure can cause cancer, nerve damage, and other health risks. Additionally, e-waste is often processed in unsafe conditions, exposing workers, including children, to these dangers. This out of sight, out of mind approach can't apply to e-waste. It's a problem we created and it's time to face it. The e-waste epidemic, especially the harmful effects of the metals within, is a problem we've created and it's past time we tackled it head on. Let's take action. Our planet and its inhabitants deserve our best efforts. Now that we've delved into the bleak truth about e-waste, it poses a crucial question. How do we counter it? We all have a role to play. Many of our discarded devices contain valuable metals that can be recovered and reused, reducing the demand for new raw materials. Recycling and e-waste keeps harmful substances out of the environment and saves resources. Strategies and regulations are being developed globally to manage e-waste, including extended producer responsibility programs. These require manufacturers to manage their products from creation to disposal. You and I can help by recycling our e-waste, promoting responsible e-waste management, and supporting sustainable businesses. Manufacturers must also contribute by making products that last longer and are easy to recycle. Imagine a world where electronics are designed not only to last but also to be easily recycled. The e-waste challenge may seem overwhelming, but remember, every single action matters. Together, we can alter the course of this critical environmental challenge.
Right. So what we are talking about is basically how average number of appliances owned per capita. We are talking about high-income countries, middle-income countries, and then high middle income, and then middle lower, and then low-income countries. So we see here we are only concentrating on these things where we have laptops and then things like mobile phones, which will have sort of a precious metals. Now go through the previous few data what we have in the year 2019. If I see 53.6 metric ton of electronic waste globally was discarded. In that, if you see only 82.6% of the electronic waste was not processed in a responsible way. So it means that we have a lot of unorganized industry over there, where we are not accounting for how we are doing. And then this is likely to go up by 74.7 metric ton in 2030. So what we see here is basically the graph, and then how we are going to increase the having a e-waste over there, and then how it will be discarded in future. So we see a gradual growth by 2030 when it comes to disposing of the e-waste, and that is also globally. Going further, what we have now, I'm more interested in this particular pie chart where we are talking about what percentage of metal we'll be having. So 79% we have copper, and then nickel is 9%, and then when we talk about gold, it is 0.2% of gold what we have in the electronic waste. So if we go to the previous slide and then see, so we are talking about this particular slide where we are talking about 53.6 metric ton, and then out of it 0.2% is gold what we are talking about. So it's actually a very big number when it comes to gold available in the electronic waste. Now these are basically some of the recycling methods what we use for electronic waste, and then we start from collection, and then we have sorting, dismantling, precious metal extraction. This is again something which is, we have various methods available. Again, I'll not be touching in detail, but we have methods for precious metal extraction. This is again one of the businesses what we are looking out in future. And then again plastic recovery. This is something which should be done in the responsible way. And then metal recovery, and then separation of components, hazardous material treatment. So we have a lot of hazardous material also when it comes to electronic waste, such as lead and then so on. And then data destruction is also one thing, QC, and then again reuse and upcycling is something which we will be concentrating on too. Now, what are the opportunities and the benefits when it comes to sustainable gold extraction? Resource recovery. It contains significant amount of gold. Often, concentrations are higher than those found in the natural ore deposits. What we get for 1 ton of natural ore, and then what we get for 1 ton of electronic waste is substantially higher. It is also cost effective. If you see the amount of energy or amount of cost we need to do in terms of metal extraction from the ore, it is definitely cheaper, works out pretty cheaper when it comes to having gold extraction or metal extraction from the e-waste. Environmental benefits. Sustainable gold recovery from e-waste has lower environmental footprint. Definitely it is much more having a lower footprint, lower environmental footprint, and then also it prevents hazardous waste entering the landfills, and then reduces soil and then water contamination. Energy efficiency. Energy required to extract gold from e-waste is considerably lesser when it compared to mining. So basically, this is one more thing where we are talking about. It also creates a lot of jobs where we regularize everything, we regulate everything, we have a lot of job creation, because this is as of now informal sector. When we have this formally done, it will create a lot of job in there, and then also reduction in toxic waste. We know that plastic is toxic, and then basically a lot of other toxic materials are also there in the electronic waste, which will be substantially reduced when it comes to the responsible way of having this particular thing done. Again, when we talk of different methods, we have various methods available here. I will not be touching in detail in this. They are all available. And then what we are looking out is something where we avoid such things such as use of cyanide. So this is something which we will be using, or these are used when it comes to having a mine extraction that is basically taken care in the gold extraction using e-waste. Further, what are the challenges? Basically, the waste management is very informal. We don't have a lot of awareness when it comes to having this waste recycling. Collection and segregation issues. Segregation at source is something which we need to do when it comes to having a e-waste or having any sort of a waste where we lack. We don't have adequate infrastructure when it comes to waste management or sustainable waste management. Complex composition of e-waste. Again, a lot of research needs to be done in terms of how do we extract these metals from e-waste. Then illegal import of e-waste. There are a lot of countries which try to dump the e-waste when it comes to third world countries like India. Of course, it's no more third world country anymore, but still this is something which is illegally going on. Health and safety concerns. Now, since it's an informal sector, we don't have appropriate health and safety related regulations over there, or regulations are there, but they are not being properly applied. Enforcement policy is something which is not available since it's an informal structure. So this is all interconnected. And then extended producer responsibility, technology obsolescence, and then access to formal recycling facilities. So even if we talk about southern part of India, there are very few formal recycling companies which are available. Of course, now we have a lot of awareness. Now people are coming into, but yes, this is something again which we need to concentrate on too. Now, important slide. I'm coming to an important slide where how do we promote? So basically, we spoke about ESG in the morning. We spoke about social. We spoke about governance, and then we also spoke about how our younger generation can come. So there is some sort of awareness where we are helping the planet by having access to the gold, or access to a metal which is produced responsibly. So incentives and subsidies is something which we can provide. Government can provide financial incentives and subsidies to businesses and then jewelers who actively use recycled gold in their products. So as of now, we were speaking about bullion things, and then golds which are procured from abroad and then imported. Basically, this is something which we can encourage internally within our country by making appropriate policies. Appropriate tax breaks and to the recyclers. So recyclers make things easier, make the things easier for them to use or produce the metal or extract it from the e-waste, and then that is something which they can have a tax break, and then they will be encouraged to do this. Research and development grants. There is a lot of research needs to be done. We have some things where research is done, but not in a very detailed way. We can come up with some research allocations for having appropriate cost-effective methods, efficient methods, and then methods which are not having enough of health risks as such. Then again, when it comes to waste management, we only have 3 regulations available in India, and then we need to probably have some more regulations, especially when it comes to having recycled e-waste. So we need to have some sort of a regulation standards, and then mandatory recycling standards, which will perhaps have some sort of a standardization done. Public awareness campaign. Now, how many of us actually dispose our e-waste in a responsible way? We usually just throw it. There is no proper way to having a e-waste being done. Now, what happens is somebody will collect it, they start burning it outside, and then what will happen is, again, you will have environmental concerns. So bring appropriate awareness and then have a lot of campaigns and then things like that through government, through private things, through NGOs, so that we have responsibly dispose of our e-waste. Collaboration with industries. This is again something. We have big companies. I think a year ago, Dell has almost collected close to around 10,000 laptops from in a buyback scheme, which will be again degaussed and then destroyed and then of course sent. So we need to probably have some sort of a collaboration with the industries where you have this, get those things, responsibly segregate it, and then make sure that we extract the material. Certification program. Now we have spoken about again environmental certifications we are speaking about, but also certification programs when it comes to having a recycled gold. Now I am buying a gold. This is something which will attract or which will sort of appeal to young generation where they say that okay, I am buying a gold and then that gold is recycled and then this way you are contributing to the what you call the environment. So that is something which will appeal. So again, this is something which probably we can have and then sort of a certification program which will help. Again, just like what we have for hallmark, something similar, for the the metal extracted from the e-waste, the gold extraction from the e-waste, if we have, that would also be something which would going to be helpful. Then e-waste collection programs, and then circular economy initiatives, and then again international collaborations. So instead of we getting something from abroad, perhaps we have an international collaboration where we do it in a very legal, formal way. We get the waste from other countries and then we start processing, because India is the only country amongst South Asia where we have appropriate, at least waste management rules and regulations. So these are some of the things which could be implemented stage-wise, and then perhaps we can have a appropriate way of creating or extracting e-waste from the electronic waste. So this is again a last slide where I have tried to put, this is not a big video of course, just whatever I have spoken that I have tried to have it in a couple of minutes video. So again, it is...
Have you ever pondered the environmental cost of the gold in your jewelry or your electronics? Mining can lead to deforestation, soil erosion, and water contamination. The emissions exacerbate global warming. A solution is e-waste recycling. This method retrieves valuable metals like gold. It reduces mining's environmental impact. But what if there was to obtain gold without such a heavy impact on our planet? Recovering gold from e-waste is an intriguing yet simple process. Once advanced electronic devices become just waste, but among this waste lie valuable metals, including gold. The journey begins with collecting these discarded gadgets. Then they're dismantled and the precious metals within are separated. The gold is extracted and finally purified for reuse. And just like that, we have gold extracted from waste, not mined from the core of our earth. E-waste recycling yields more than just gold. It's about forging a path towards a sustainable future. It counters destructive mining, conserves resources, and reduces pollution. Our unused gadgets, when recycled, replace the demand for harmful mining. It economically incites job growth, spurs innovation, and bolsters a resilient, cyclic economy. It's a broader impact than just environmental. Therefore, when about to trash an old device, remember, you're not merely discarding a gadget, you're letting go of golden opportunity to contribute to sustainability. The growing concern of e-waste management worldwide is prompting us to see true value of e-waste recycling. In this era, it's more than just an eco-duty. It's a valuable prospect. Incentives are making it financially rewarding for everyone to go green. This big leap can lead to considerable savings and aligns with eco-friendly norms. Also, e-waste recycling challenges the current possibilities. By investing in R&D, we can find innovative, efficient recycling. This breakthrough can lead to affordability and better productivity. This solution profits both the environment and the economy. The allure lies in turning e-waste from a problem into a golden opportunity beneficial to all. Let's embrace this together.
All right, I think that was my last slide. Basically, what I want to conclude by saying that recycling e-waste can help us to save environment from hazardous chemicals, and then also can contribute to a more sustainable future. So, thank you for having us. Any questions on this, please?
Thank you for a great presentation. I just want to ask you one thing. To what extent that e-waste recycling can replace mining, as you have been always comparing it with as an alternative to mining?
Yes.
So to what extent do you think, in particular gold, to what extent it can replace?
Yes, so to begin with, actually we need to bring this particular e-waste into a sort of a standard, umbrella. So what we have right now is a lot of informal sort of a collection being done, and we have that data.
So formal or informal, it is actually it's basically being replaced.
Yes.
So even if it is informal, it is replacing some amount of mining. So that is somehow coming back into the system.
Correct.
Formal or informal does not make much of a difference as long as it gets back and it is recycled.
Yeah.
So it is getting back to the system.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, are you trying to get that data? Like, to what extent this can actually replace?
Yes.
Because you know the consumption of gold, and
Right.
and so it will be very interesting because industry does not use too much of gold.
Right.
It's but again, if there is a research around that and how much a potential, that e-waste recycling have, then more efforts can be done.
Sure. So as of now, I don't have that data, but definitely something
You
which I would
mentioned
definitely work.
0.2% of that 53 tons, right?
No, it is 0.2% in the 100 of gold. Like 100, if I take up 100%, so we have 0.2% of the gold what we have. So total e-waste what is collected
Is 53 tons.
is 53 tons in 2020.
Okay.
That is 2029 e-waste monitor report.
Okay.
So that is global because we don't have data for Indian data. So we have that global data. Now what we are talking about is if we have that much of gold, so 53 metric ton, 53 into 10 to the power 3 ton, that gold, out of that 2% is what we have as gold.
0.2% or 2%?
0.2%, I'm sorry, 0.2%. So we have huge potential because we have very limited gold mines. As of now, it's only Hatti mine is what we are talking about. And then we have a lot of discussions with Dr. Sangurmat also on this particular topic. And just to put it in a way, the metals, the medals what were given in Olympics, Japan Olympics, Tokyo Olympics, were all made up of sustainable metals. And then also when we talk about new gadgets, especially the Samsung recently released their thing, and then we are talking
also.
about Apple. The metal what they are using is basically sort of a recycled metal from the waste. So what we are looking out is giving back to the nature. I mean, instead of taking something from the nature and then depleting that particular thing, which will have again a lot of side effects, we have a responsible way. So we spoke about ESG, right? We have social, we have governance, but this is something which is environmentally friendly. And then also if we have some more research being done with appropriate policies in place, perhaps I think this is a very long way to go. That's the reason we are...
No, there is a
defining it as
demand and
urban
supply
mining.
gap. So that's what, so unless we have the numbers, we'll not be able to gauge how much is the...
But definitely, sir, what we will do is we'll try to collect as much data as possible because we are regularly in touch with for this particular paper, we are in touch with a few of the very biggest, waste management companies in Bangalore and then in Hyderabad. So definitely we'll have some particular data. We are also working with a company called Zecomi, who serves as a platform to bring all these people on single platform where they collect the data. So definitely I think we'll have that data and then there is a future scope for it, for sure.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for having us.